Open the top of the box and remove the included accessories on top of the machine. Remove the packaging material. Then remove the 6 latches at the bottom of the box. And carefully lift the box cover off the machine. Allow plenty of operating space around the machine. A minimum area of 770 millimeters high by 1 meter wide by 1 meter deep, or 31 inches high by 40 inches wide by 40 inches deep is needed. The machine weighs about 37 kilograms or 82 pounds. Make sure you have a large table that can bear the weight of the machine. 2 people holding on to the specified places should lift the machine. Adjust the legs of the machine by loosening the lock nut on the leg with the included wrench. Turn the adjustable foot nut clockwise to lengthen the leg, or turn the nut counterclockwise to shorten the leg. Adjust all 4 legs so they securely contact the desk or table and tighten the nuts with a wrench. Loosen the thumb screws to adjust the operation panel to an easy-to-operate position and angle. Then tighten the thumb screws with the included disc-shaped driver. Using the included Phillips screwdriver, loosen 1 screw to raise the thread guide assembly. Raise the thread guide into position and tighten the screw. Remove 1 screw and tighten the screw on the other side. Loosen 2 screws, spread the thread guide assembly into position, and tighten both screws. Loosen the thumb screw and then open the spool stand completely to the left and the right. Then tighten the thumb screw. Attach the embroidery frame holder to the carriage. First, remove the thumb screws on the holder. Then align the holes of the embroidery frame holder with the pins in the frame mounting plate of the carriage. Secure the embroidery frame holder with the 2 thumb screws. Use the included disc-shaped driver to firmly tighten the thumb screws. Please note that if the machine is not set up correctly, it may shake or produce loud noises, and the embroidery will not be sewn correctly. This is the needle bar case, and this is the operation panel. This is the automatic needle threading mechanism. This is the embroidery frame holder. This is the thread picker. These are the slots for data media used for embroidery patterns. This is the USB port. Open the hook cover. Pull the thread picker toward you. Pull the bobbin case latch and remove the bobbin case. After removing the bobbin case, apply oil on the machine. The race should be oiled. Use pre-wound bobbins or use the optional bobbin winding device to wind the optional bobbins with thread. Insert the bobbin into the bobbin case. Pass the thread through the slit and under the tension adjusting spring. Then pull the thread through the opening in the tension adjusting spring. Insert the bobbin case while aligning the tab on the bobbin case with the notch in the hook. Fully insert the bobbin until it snaps into place. Close the hook cover. Plug the power supply cord into the machine. Then insert the plug of the power supply cord into a household electrical outlet. Switch on the main power switch. The buzzer will beep once, and the LCD screen will come on. Touch the OK key on the operation panel. The pattern type selection screen will appear, and the red Start-Stop button will light up. Make sure to keep your hands and other items away from the carriage, as the carriage and needle bar case will move to the start position. Select Embroidery Pattern on the operation panel. When attaching the embroidery frame, make sure that the red Start-Stop button is lit to prevent the machine from accidentally starting. Loosen the 2 thumb screws on the embroidery frame holder. Move the left arm to align the screw on the right side with the mark for the size of the embroidery frame to be installed, and then tighten the thumb screws. Hold the embroidery frame level and align the left and right sides at the same time. Insert the embroidery frame until it snaps into place. Make sure that the pins on the left and right arms of the embroidery frame holder fit into the position slot and hole on the embroidery frame. The operation panel indicates which color should be threaded onto each needle bar. Place the color specified for needle bar number 1 on spool pin number 1. Pass the thread through the 3 holes in the thread guide designated for number 1. Hold the thread with both hands and pass it under the guide from the right. Wind the thread clockwise once around the number 1 thread tension disc. Make sure that the thread is securely caught in the thread tension disc. Pass the thread along the thread path for number 1 indicated on the machine, and then pass it through the number 1 middle thread guide from right to left. Pass the thread along the number 1 slot and through the number 1 take-up lever hole from the right to the left. Pass the thread through the slot in the thread guide and then through the hole in the number 1 lower thread guide. Use the included threader to pass the thread through the number 1 needle bar thread hook and pull out about 15 centimeters or 6 inches of thread. Press the automatic needle threading button on the operation panel to position the automatic needle threading mechanism for threading. Pull the thread through the fork of the automatic needle threading mechanism from the right, and then after pulling the thread through the guide presser foot, pull the thread through the thread cutter to cut it. Press the automatic needle threading button again, and the thread is passed through the eye of the needle, completing the upper threading for needle bar number 1. Thread the remaining needle bars in the same way. However, the needle bar to be threaded must be moved to the sewing position to use the automatic needle threading mechanism. For the remaining needle bars, touch the key for the needle bar that you wish to thread in order to move the needle bar to the sewing position. Then follow the same procedure. Remove the 2 mounting screws from the cap frame. Slide the cap frame over the cylinder arm, making sure the frame sits on the pins. Install the 2 mounting screws and tighten by hand. Next, you need to tighten the 2 bottom mounting screws as you push the cap frame toward the rear of the machine. Loosen the 2 Allen screws. Do not turn too much. 1 turn is sufficient. Push down on the L-shaped metal bracket and tighten the 2 Allen screws. Insert the plastic spacer pad between the sewing bed and the cap frame driver ring. Next, loosen the 4 Allen screws located inside the cap frame ring. When the screws are loose, the cap frame will drop down slightly. Tighten the 4 screws, starting with the top screws, and then moving to the bottom screws. Remove the plastic spacer pad.